Fans are fired up after the whistle sounds on the first 2 matches of the World Cup. The head of the UFC visits the State Department ahead of a South Lawn showdown. Plus, design in Miami and DC aimed at preserving the past.
Every time that we do a new project, there's remnants.
These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Enzo Paso.
And I'm Paula Siriñana. Today is Friday, June 12, 2026.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
After months of anticipation, it's finally game on at North America's World Cup. The World Cup kicked off with one of the host nations teams playing in their own city capital. It was Mexico and South Africa in Mexico City yesterday afternoon, and the home team's defense pitched a shutout. Quinones scored in the 9th minute and Jimenez in the 67th. The final score was 2-0. A great start in the group and great news for Mexico fans.
Muy feliz de que México haya ganado el partido inaugural. ¡Sí!
Les jugaron muy bien y bueno, ahora toca celebrar. Bien jugado. Feliz, se jugó bien, se ganó.
As the winners continue celebrating on the north of the border, all the excitement is focused in Los Angeles, where Team USA plays Paraguay at 9 p.m. tonight.
And in the other day one match, South Korea took on the Czech Republic in Guadalajara. The Czechs opened scoring in the beginning of the second half, but South Korea bounced back and stole a 2-1 victory to start the tournament. And while we're on the subject of sports, the Marlins won 2-0 over the Diamondbacks yesterday, and that's 5 wins in a row for the Fish.
Neighborhoods are facing an identity crisis as they try to grow to meet the future without losing the features that connect them to the past. We look at how this is planning out in the South Florida and the nation's capital with DC Bureau reporter Dawn Booth.
With cities constantly evolving, new developments bring growth, opportunity, and investment. But for many, change also raises concern. How do we preserve the culture and identity of a neighborhood while planning for its future? I spoke with a principal for urban design. Now let's take a look at planning through applications like the Lattice program. Behind every neighborhood is a vision. As cities continue to evolve, planners face the challenge of preparing communities for the future while preserving the character that makes them unique.
We are, in a way, a very humanist profession in the sense that we need to know a little bit about health, we need to know a little bit about architecture, we need to know a little bit about social structures.
For more than 25 years, urban planner Juan has worked on projects across the globe. Through offices in Miami and Washington, his work focuses on helping communities grow through planning that reflects the needs of people who live there.
Every time that we do a new project, there's remnants of the previous projects, right? Because you learn, you adapt, you discover.
While every city faces its own challenges, one thing remains the same. Residents want growth that respects history, character, and people who help build their communities. Reporting in Washington, D.C. for Caplin News, I'm Dawn Booth.
A somber anniversary today, marking 10 years since the Pulse nightclub tragedy.
That's right. Caplin's Gian Augustino looks at how Orlando is honoring the victims.
Friday marks 10 years since the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando left 49 people dead. City leaders are hosting a series of events to honor the victims, support survivors, and bring the community together.
It's obviously one of the tough weeks out of the year for everybody here in Orlando, and June the 12th remains one of the most difficult days in Orlando's history. As we mark 10 years from the Pulse tragedy, we continue to honor the 49 angels, support the survivors, and stand with the families that have been forever impacted.
City leaders say the anniversary is not only about reflecting on what happened on June 12th of 2016, but also supporting those affected by the attack.
I know it's been 10 years, but I want us to say let's keep that momentum going through the next 10 years because it's so important to honor their memory, and it's so important for us to include the arts, to do these things that bring us all together.
As Orlando looks ahead, work continues on the permanent memorial to honor the victims. The project is now about 60% through the design phase, and parts of the original nightclub will be included in the memorial.
There were many of the family members that did not actually want the building demolished because their child had died there. and they felt like their soul was there. So in this way, we were able to preserve that and keep the buildings in a holistic manner on the site.
Personal items belonging to the victims will also be displayed at the site, giving visitors a place to reflect and remember. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Gianna Agostinho.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio signed a memorandum of understanding with UFC President Dana White yesterday. The deal comes as preparations continue for a series of UFC fights expected to take place in the new octagon outside the White House South Lawn. The agreement establishes a partnership between the State Department and the UFC to promote sports diplomacy and international engagement. The announcement also comes as preparations continue for the President's Special UFC tournament outside the White House, where the fighters from around the world are expected to compete.
As FIU grows, so does the need for off-campus housing.
That's right, and Caplin's Jordan Tavares shows us a little of what's planned.
As the city of Sweetwater and the FIU community continues to grow, so does the infrastructure. The landscape is constantly changing, with new developing construction sites at every single corner, including a new student apartment complex coming right here to Southwest 3rd Street.
A new $13.5 million 29-story student tower has just been approved across FIU and will make way to Southwest 3rd Street. The building is set to have 400 units with 600 beds in total. Each bedroom gets its own private bathroom, including shared kitchens and living spaces. Amenities such as pool decks, fitness centers, and study areas are set to accompany the apartment building. South Florida Realtor Pedro Casanova of the Ken Group believes that its unique modern design and services attract new residents.
Student housing for FIU is kind of limited. So this will bring a fresh new modern look and amenities for students.
As a Miami native, Pedro also understands the pushback and outbursts from the local community in the efforts of growing Sweetwater.
I would say the older residents of that community are not very happy about, having 20-story buildings built there. Sweetwater is going through a tremendous amount of change. There's a ton of redevelopment going on there, not just for FIU student housing. And anytime you have that sort of change, the locals most of the time don't take very, very kindly to it.
Although time will tell on how well this building will hold up with its pros and cons integrating into the Sweetwater community, Pedro says that this unit will be a game changer for future residents. Reporting in Sweetwater, for Caplin News, I'm Jordan Tavares.
When it comes to forecast, the question is, what is ahead for the next weekend?
Well, and so hopefully more sun, but Caplin's Melanie Garcia joins us now for our live forecast. Melanie?
Morning, currently at Miami International Airport, that temperature is at 86 degrees with that dew point at 73, really pushing that feels like into those lower 90s. We also do have winds blowing from the east-northeast at 6 miles per hour. Looking across South Florida with our temperatures, we're really lingering into those low mid-80s to upper 80s with Pembroke Pines at 88 and down there at Kendall at 85. Going down south to the Keys, both Marathon and Key West at 85 degrees. Now, in terms of rain, we're looking quite dry in South Florida today, but we are expected for some isolated showers popping up throughout the day, and south at the Keys, a bit dry there as well. Now, going into our tropics, it is hurricane season, and we do have one disturbance in the Bay of Campeche where it does have a 10% chance of developing into a tropical cyclone within the next 2 days. It's going to be sticking to our west portion of the Gulf, so it doesn't pose a threat to here, South Florida, but we'll continue to monitor it. But going to more local forecasts, boaters, those winds are expected to blow from the east at 5 to 10 knots, with those seas at 1 to 2 feet with some light chop. And today, that temperature peaking at 88 degrees with those isolated showers, and then cooling down and drying off at 79 degrees tonight, before picking right back up tomorrow at 88 degrees. But look at that rain chance increasing just a bit to 30%. And you're going to see that increase further as this in the 7-day forecast, going to 40% and even 50% on game day here at Miami Stadium. And look at that temperature. It's going to get hot next week, going into those low 90s at 91 degrees before cooling down to 89. But those feels like it's going to get to those upper 90s and even the triple digits. So do remember to stay hydrated, especially if you're going out to watch FIFA on Monday. Now tossing it back to Enzo and Paola.
Thank you. Movies are up of profit in the theaters this summer, with something brand new on the way.
Well, I can't wait, but that's still ahead, and so is the story.
These movies are really about deep, long-lasting friendships.
The toys are coming back to play, and there's another big name who's being added to the team. Don't go anywhere. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Bill is a family man. He invests his money wisely and provides a good life for his children. Just one problem. He often opens emails from senders he doesn't know, and his computer is not password protected. One day, Bill checked his bank account and 94% of malware attacks originate from emails. Don't be like Bill. Take your cybersecurity seriously.
From the silver screen, we are back for the scene, and in our Friday segment, some of Hollywood's biggest names came together to celebrate the next chapter of a Pixar classic. We are just 1 week away from the most anticipated animated feature of the summer, and on Tuesday night, the stars of Toy Story 5 hit the red carpet in Los Angeles for the film's highly anticipated premiere. The latest installment reunites fan-favorite characters Woody, Buzz, and Jessie for a new adventure, which features technology. Both cast members and filmmakers celebrated the franchise's legacy, while sharing what has kept audiences coming back for 3 decades.
These movies are really about deep, long-lasting friendships and how adversity comes along, but everybody can get together and help the other person out when they need a hand.
And after the screening, Taylor Swift made a surprise appearance and performance of her new soundtrack song, I Knew It, I Knew You. She later joined Randy Newman for a duet of You Got a Friend in Me. And if you want to see Toy Story 5, it'll be in theaters June 19th. Some counter-programming as the Florida Museum is making a statement ahead of Kanye West's upcoming Tampa concerts. The Florida Holocaust Museum is offering free admission during the West shows later this month. Leaders say the move is a response to the rapper's past anti-Semitic remarks. West is scheduled to perform at Raymond James Stadium on June 26th and 28th. Meanwhile, Florida Senator Rick Scott has called for the Tampa Sports Authority to reconsider canceling the shows. And if you've been sleeping with the lights on lately, trust me, you're not alone. Horror fans are surely making their presence known at the box office with low-budget thrillers, Backrooms, and Obsession both crossing the $200 million mark worldwide, proving the big scares don't need big budgets. And the fright kept rolling this weekend as Scary Movie 6 sliced its way to the top spot with a record opening of $55 million for the franchise.
I think it would be arrogant to think that we are alone in the universe. What do we know?
And if that isn't enough to keep you up at night, Steven Spielberg's new alien thriller Disclosure Day lands in theaters this weekend. So whether it's monsters, a toxic partner, or visitors from outer space, audiences are eating up the scares and definitely not sleeping.
And that's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Enzo Paso.
And I'm Palestiniana, and you can get more news anytime at caplanews.fiu.edu.